Good morning, this is Father Fish. I'd like to talk with you this morning about what it is to have a natural aquarium. Now by natural, I mean genuinely natural. Something that you could scoop up in the backyard and set up with some water in it and keep it alive and healthy and growing. Natural means taking elements out of the wild, creating an environment with them that will thrive. And that's really what this channel is all about. It's about teaching people how to do fish naturally. The tank in back of me is just such a tank. It has a deep sand bed in it, about 6 inches, with a filter that runs a sump. It's a pump that pumps water from a sump, which has 6 inches of sand in it, back up into the tank. So the water movement is all over sand. The sand is deep enough to create an anaerobic layer. That anaerobic layer breaks down waste. And that's the key to a natural system, to be able to handle waste in a way that returns it to the cycle. Now there are no plants in this tank, mainly because the fish in it eat them. But periodically I do have plants in it. I'll do another video of the tank a little later on. I'm getting some large plants next week that I want to put in the tank. That'll make it a much more interesting aquarium. I don't have a lot of light on it, so I don't get a lot of algae buildup. Really, there's no algae buildup. With a deep sand bed, it recycles itself and really does prevent algae from building up in the tank. So that's the idea, to create a very natural environment. That means you don't use gravel and you feed as much as possible a natural fish food. I just had a customer come in who had little orange balls, little pink balls all over his tank. Couldn't imagine what it was. We talked about it a bit and discovered it was food, flake food that he had been feeding his fish that they were not able to digest. And so they created waste, and with the gravel in his tank, there was no way for it to break down. So it created a mess. In addition to which, his pH dropped to about 6.0, and he lost nearly all of his fish. The fix was really very simple. We poured a bag of sand, about 25 pounds, into his 30-gallon tank, right on top of the gravel. We did put a little bit of baking soda in, about a level teaspoon, to instantly bring that pH up. Did a 50% water change, and I use crystalline sodium thiosulfate, which is the active ingredient in getting rid of chlorine. It works quickly, it's not toxic, and is a very simple product. Put that in, did a 50% water change, and returned his tank to a natural state. He will now be able to put plants in it, to grow plants, and to keep fish alive and healthy. So those are some of the keys. We'll talk more about it as we go along. But the idea of doing something natural really does involve going out into the backyard to a local pond, digging up a shovel full of dirt, getting a couple of gallons of water, netting out whatever you like and can find it there, putting it all together in a tank, or in a plastic container, or in a tub, or in anything that holds water. You can set it up outside or it'll get sunlight. No difference between that and the pond it came out of. A natural tank. That's what we're after. Talk to you again soon.